Hello there, Sue-Ann Hunter. My goodness, we're here to honour and absolutely acknowledge the wonderful moment here that fills our sector with incredible excitement. Today, we are chatting with you, an extraordinary leader. You've just been appointed as Australia's first full-time National Indigenous Youth Commissioner. Sue-Ann Hunter, congratulations. What a well-deserved recognition. I know you as someone who has dedicated your life to truth-telling, healing the rights of First Nations people. You've been a guiding light to so many, from national conversations through to challenging racism in child protection, through to advocating for trauma-informed, culturally relevant and culturally strong ways forward for Indigenous communities. We're especially proud to say that you've been a long-time friend of ours at the Settlement Council of Australia, so it is with particular pride that we want to extend our congratulations to you, friend of the settlement and multicultural sector. Sue-Ann, thank you for making the time for a brief conversation today, because we couldn't contain ourselves long enough to do anything but a quick conversation, and we know that our work with you will continue into the future. But can I also ask my colleague and good friend Rana Ibrahimi from the Multicultural Youth Advocacy Network to say a few things as well.
Hello, and lovely to see two of my favorite people online, and many congratulations on behalf of young people from refugee and migrant background and myself and our state and territory bodies at Multicultural Youth Advocacy Network. And it's really interesting time. We had Maria a few weeks ago joining us on Squaw, and we heard the amazing news, and we are really excited because for a long time it was overdue, and we are really excited that finally we have the national commissioner for children and young people of First Nation, and it's such an honor to be with you today and having this conversation, and congratulate you again.
Absolutely. Sue-Ann, honestly, there'll be so many people listening to this, watching this. How does it feel to be stepping into this role?
I think it's a bit surreal, because back when I was working at Snake on Family Matters, we advocated for this role for a long time. There's actually a lot of people that advocated for this role. So to actually be in it, it's a bit surreal. It's also, there's a lot to be done. And just so you know, I don't start till the 1st of September, just making that clear. But there's lots to be done. There's lots of people in this space doing this work already. So how can we all work together? And now we actually have someone at the national level to be able to work with government directly, as well as the states and territories. You know, kudos to all the states, children's commissioners, advocates, that are holding this space without a whole lot of powers. And you know, my hat goes off to them, because I know and understand the work that they do. Snake does amazing work. I've been on their board and worked for them, and always advocating hard. But mainly, I really want to elevate the voices of our children and youth, and really and put them at the centre of all this. As adults, we can sit here and have the conversation, but I think we really need to hear and elevate the voices and stories of our children and young people. I'm just really honoured, and I don't know if it's overwhelmed, but it's a big responsibility, and I really don't take that lightly at all. Coming off the back of the commission, I think I've been of your book, having, you know, truth telling at the centre is really being grounded in that is something that we need to bring here. What is the truth, and make sure people understand the truth of what's going on in this country for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children. Just come back from Gama and heard some, you know, it's great to have, look, it was a great experience, wouldn't knock it, and thank you to Reconciliation Australia who took me so, you know, thank you to them, because it was a moment I won't forget, also being announced while I'm up there, but also understanding the grim statistics that were highlighted while we were up there. But it also pointed out that culture at the centre is the strength of our people, but really being grounded brought a lot of people together. And Maria and Rana, thank you for your support, even not just now, but over the years. And I'm really overwhelmed with the amount of people and support, because this just isn't one person. And to know that I have these backing and support of organisations, of individuals, of community, of Aboriginal people, of non-Aboriginal people, is just that means a lot. So I know we can get success.
And certainly, Sue-Ann, you talk about allyship, and Rana, no doubt, will ask some questions about that engagement and connection with multicultural communities, particularly young people. But in thinking about that allyship, at the Settlement Council of Australia, and our sector is firmly committed to making sure that we do engage in that important journey. I mean, I've said this countless times, whilst we might celebrate the idea of successful settlement for First Nations communities, settlement, that very word conveys some deeply painful histories and realities, which is why we're certainly dedicated to making sure that we move forward as proper allies to First Nations people. From your perspective and through that lens of your new commissioner role, is there anything in particular that you would like to see as part of that hand-in-hand journey, that allyship from multicultural communities?
I think, as we've spoken about previously, Maria, because we've done so much work together, it's about listening and learning, and also being creative in your response. I think how you can do things differently. The listening and learning part is hard because you want to do and you want to help, and totally get that, but there's a space for that. And one of the things I said throughout the commission, and I've always said, is when we change laws and policies for First Nations children or First Nations people, it actually makes it easier for sometimes they're not just changed for us, they're changed for everybody. And then other times it makes it easier for other groups of people to be able to make change because it's already been done. So when we, we're a generous bunch, our mob, and when we do, we bring people along with us. But I'm sure there's something, Maria, along our travels that we'll be doing together along the way.
I would expect nothing less. Rana?
Absolutely. I love what you said, and I think we are always hearing, and the other thing that young people and children are talking about is the generosity and the kindness of the First Nation when they have these connections, and they're always asking for more connection and more allyship, being buddies and doing things hand in hand. Right now, I think it's the moment that we just, after many years of advocacy about that, we are going to start it and do it more in the space. But also, I'm here on behalf of the young people and children, and I'm sure they have this question that how do you see the future of the friendship and allyship between newly arrived and of refugee and migrant young people and the second generation migrant people? How do you see the future for all of these young people? They are already living together and they are very different than us, probably because they are growing up in this diverse country, but they love to learn more, and that's the gap. And I love to hear from you. How do you envision that?
Thanks, Rana. That's a big question, but I think we already do it well. I think we talk about cultures with each other, which we love to learn about cultures, and I think that's where the grounding is. That I know I've asked Maria a lot of questions about her Greek background and what that looks like, and I'm open to questions of why do you do things that way? What does that look like? And I think our communities are really open to that, particularly kids before they're formed, and society has, gotten into their brains. I think that generosity, and there's no barriers there. But I think it's the cultural element, and we talk about what is the same and what is different and why do you do it, and having those discussions, because that forms our identity. And I know that's probably one of the first things with particularly migrant people that come across when I sit down, and because I don't know and I want to understand. And I know as an Aboriginal person, if people understand my culture, they understand who I am. And I think we do that well. And I think that's how those friendships are formed.
Absolutely.
I think, Sue Ann, the future looks very bright with justice at the absolute heart of it.
Yeah.
It's certainly a commitment that Rana and I make together. We are definitely looking forward to working on some exciting projects with you as you step into your role. The impact that you have, I know, will be just as profound as it's been in the past. Your role, of course, as Deputy Chair at the Youth Commission, and so many other achievements. Little wonder you were selected to be the first inaugural National Commissioner. It came as no surprise to those of us that know you. Thank you for your humility. Thank you for your leadership, your dedication and passion. We are certainly, as I said, looking forward to that ongoing partnership with you. Sue Ann Hunter, our deepest appreciations to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.